Hi, welcome to the Digital Business Enhancement Program tutorial video for the second application. So the second application may seem rather large, but its purpose is to get our team as much information as possible before we start. That way we can get a lot more done without tons of emails back and forth and calls. It just makes our work a lot quicker and a lot more efficient. That said, you don't necessarily have to fill out everything in this form. There are a few stipulations. If you are missing information or are unsure about anything, simply write that down. You can say, I don't know, I'm unsure, I need help, and then just skip to the next part. That is totally fine. The next thing is only fill out the forms for the items that you applied for in your first application. So if you remember the first application, you checked off a wants list, basically, a wish list of what services we can do for you. So you only need to fill out the forms for the items that you actually checked off. And then if you have already filled out a piece of information in this form, you don't have to do that again when it asks later in the form. So we ask over and over again for different pieces of information because not everyone applied for the same things. So this form gets the information we need for each of those sections if someone only chooses that one section or two. So all that to say, if you filled out this information before in one section and you see it pop up again in another section, you can skip that. You don't have to fill it out a second time. So our first section that you'll run into on the application is branding or rebranding section. The first thing you'll see is called the word map. This is an exercise on thinking about the themes, imagery, and inspiration that your business wants to convey or communicate to your clients. So here you will use between 8 and 15 words that help to convey these ideas. As an example, if I owned, say, a handmade soap artisan shop, I might use the following words to represent all that my shop is in my logo design. So I may put locally sourced, all natural, fragrant, North Island, plants, family, handmade, clean, luxurious, minimalist style, earth tone colors. The word map is necessary to help the graphic designer envision and create a logo for your business that truly represents it. You'll notice I didn't just use object or theme-based words. I also included a specific design style and maybe even colors that I'm leaning towards. The words that you use can be whatever you want, as long as it represents your business. Now, you only need to fill out the word map if you are getting, again, a logo design or redesign. If not, you can skip that section. The second thing we ask for are colors for the logo. So we generally recommend at least 3 up to a recommended palette of 5. Here, we're going to give you space to mention any specific colors you want included in your logo. If you have no preference, it is totally okay to just write that. But if you do have ideas that are on your mind or that you envision being included in your logo, this is the space to note that. Throughout this form, we will ask you to attach or email inspiration images. This is only if you have them. It is not a requirement. For the branding section, these can simply be logos you like the style of, or even color palettes, or just photos that inspire you. It doesn't have to be anything specific, and again, if you don't have it, that's totally fine. So you'll see next the custom color palette. This is the actual brand color palette that we are creating for you. It may seem like repeated information, but some clients opt in for just a color palette and a typeset, not for the logo because they may already have that. So if you haven't filled out the color information in the previous section, this is where you're going to do that. So again, all we need here is simply the number of colors you want, whether that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever that may be, it is totally up to you. And then you're going to list color names or even the hexadecimal codes if you happen to have those. That is just a specific code. It's a 6-digit number that is basically computer language that helps computers translate specific colors. So again, it's not necessary to include that, but if you already have that in your brand set, or you already know what you want, you can communicate that here to us. Now, the typographic set. This is a section all about fonts. It may seem small, but using the same fonts on all of your products, like your signage, your websites, social media designs, posters, whatever you make, having consistency across all of those things through fonts makes your company and everything you create more easily recognizable as a brand and as related to each other. It gives an overall more professional and cohesive look and helps your clients more readily identify your brand and your items. So in this section, if you are already using specific fonts or you know of fonts that you would like to use, you can write in those font names into the boxes. But let's go through a little bit of the lingo together, because on the form, we do mention different types of fonts, like the header display font, the subhead accent font, and the body paragraph font. So we're going to review what that means, just so you have a better idea of how to fill this section out. So the header display fonts, these are your headlines. They are generally the biggest text on any design and are meant to capture attention, show the main idea, and they can even be a design element in itself. Next is the subhead or accent font. So this is your secondary font, one that is used as subtext, a subhead under your title. It still has some personality, but it's not the center of attention. It helps lift up your header font by being its beautiful accompaniment. Next, we have the body or paragraph font. This is one that people are most familiar with, and it is often overlooked, but this is the font that you're going to use to write your main information. It is usually more reading focused, meaning it's not super fancy or intricate because it needs to be easy to read. We don't want your audience struggling through a whole paragraph of fancy text. Again, if you have no fonts in mind, feel free to write in no preference or that you would like some help in this area. That is completely fine. So the final part of the typographic set section is labeled New Font Set Preferences. So here we're looking for some description about the types of fonts that you're looking for. So we're going to go through some common font styles that you can use to state what you like or don't like. The first one that we're going to look at is just serif fonts. These are fonts that have little feet on the ends. They're a little bit more classic, and they are more readable. When it comes to readability, fonts that are serifed tend to have a higher readability rate than sans serif. Not to say that if you choose a sans serif font, which we will describe in the next section, that it would be hard to read. But in general, if it has serifs, it makes it a little bit easier to read. And classic examples of this would be Times New Roman or Georgia, because they have these little feet. So the opposite of that, the sans serif font. These are fonts that you don't see the feet on the end. They're a little bit more clean, a little bit more modern. And we use them all the time. Like even in emails, we're using fonts like Avenir or Arial. So now we're going to get a little bit more into some of the styles that you can choose. So if you want to describe a specific aesthetic, one way to do this would be light minimalist fonts. So these are fonts that are generally sans serif. They are thinner, they're not very heavy, they have simple, clean lines and space around them. Next, we have bold or thick fonts. So this is just a way to describe the type of style of font. It can be serif, sans serif. It doesn't really matter. It's just describing how bold and how much width each of the individual letters have. Next, we have script or cursive fonts. So these are fonts, like it says in the name, they're cursive. They're swirly, they're fancy, they're a little bit more ornate. So you might choose that for something like a header, but again, we wouldn't choose that for something like our paragraph font. Next, we have all caps fonts. This is in the name. Every letter is capitalized. Any font can become an all caps style. It just means that we want every letter to be capitalized. Next, we have the opposite of that, which is no caps fonts. And again, any font can be in a no caps style. Next, we have funky, creative, bubble style fonts. We're just kind of providing some words to help you describe the style that you like. And what these words do is to describe more unique, artistic, and ornate types of font styles. They're almost exclusively used as header fonts, and they add a lot of personality to a business. So if your business has a lot to say, has a big personality, you may lean towards a more funky or creative font. Handwritten fonts. So these are just as they appear to be, written by hand. There's different styles within this genre, but if it looks like it's written by a hand and it appears on your computer, you could describe that as handwritten. So if any of these feel right for your business, simply pop in what you like in that section, or even specific styles you want to avoid. That's helpful too. But again, just stating no preference or you have no clue is also an option. We're always happy to help you figure out what your wants and needs are. Now let's move on to the icons section. Just a quick description, icons are graphics or illustrations that can be used for a lot of different things, but they are graphics that add personality. So if you checked off the need for icons, you will need to fill this section out. If you have specific ideas of the icons you would like, here's where you'll list them, or you can even attach or send inspiration images. So generally, icons are used to add a visual element to your products and designs. They're often used on websites, in place of photos, as visual aids besides text, and even as a fun design element to use in social media designs. Sometimes we even use them to create fun merchandise, like a t-shirt. If you haven't provided the brand colors your business uses or wants to use yet, you will need to write that in this section. So this is for businesses who didn't want the branding, who didn't want the custom color palette, but you did sign up for icons. We're still going to need to know those colors. If you've already written that in, you get to skip this. If your business has fonts it uses or would like to use with your icons, we'll need you to write those in. But if you've already filled it out, again, skip it. And again, just to repeat, because we want to make sure you have all the information you need to fill this form out. If you have any inspiration images, please attach or send them to us. They are always welcome and super helpful to our designers. Now, let's get into the photography and videography section. So here, you may not have any idea of what photos you want taken, and it's okay to simply write that. But this is a space to make specific requests. Examples could be storefront images, product merchandise images, candid or unposed working photos of you and or your employees, or professional headshots of you and or your team, and finally, specific event photography. If you're hosting some sort of event, if you're having a business conference, anything like that, we are able to capture that for you. So make sure to write in any preferences or wants that you may have, because we want to make sure you're getting everything you need out of this program. In the videography section, we give you space to describe your vision or goals for the video. This is a little bit broad, but common requests are telling your business story and connection to your surrounding community that you service, or describing your business process and the products you're able to provide, or highlighting and introducing the owners and their mission or goals for the company. And it can be all three of those. We just want to hear what you want to tell your community and your audience. If you have no idea, it's perfectly okay to write that. We will reach out to you and we will brainstorm with you. But if you have ideas, we'd love to hear them. Now let's get into the website section. So for this section, just try and fill out what you can. We know that you might not have all the information ready, or you may not know what you want, but we just want to get as much information as we can from you that's readily available. So the first thing we're going to need is your login information. This is only if you already have a website. We will need your username and password to go in and make changes. Next, we ask for a biography. So you may already have a company history or mission figured out, perhaps not. But a biography is vital to connect your company to the customer, convey your goals, and give the customer a more intimate or clear view of who you are as a business. So please write out what you'd like to share with your audience if you have an idea of that. If not, again, we can always help you with that. Brand items. So if you didn't sign up for the branding that we provide in the previous sections, we will need that information now. So what we need to know are what logos you currently use, what colors your business is already using or wants to use, and what fonts your business already uses or wants to use. If you are unsure of what's being asked, please visit the branding section of this video that describes in detail what we are looking for. And as always, if you are unsure, you can write that you have no preference or would like some assistance with filling this section out. That's fine too. Product information. So here, if you currently have an online store or you want to create one with us, we'll need to know what products you currently have, and we'll need a product pricing sheet from you. So this is just a document that lists each product you sell, its sale price, and other information you may have, like the quantity of that stock or the SKU number. Whatever you have, we'd love to know, so please email this list to us. You can create this list in a Word or Excel document, and if you do not have one already and you need our assistance with this, let us know. Don't let this section or any other keep you from submitting your application. We will work with whatever you're able to give us, and we can work with you to figure out whatever information is missing. But if you do have it available, this is a great thing to send along to help us get started. So we ask for photos and videos. This is if we're not taking these for you, or if you have a specific media that you want to make sure is included in your website. So if you could email that to us, that will give us a great start on putting together your website. If you have specific pages or uses for the photos or videos, please let us know that too, so we can make sure that they're displayed properly and in the right place. So in the website wants and needs section, we have included common page options businesses often want on their website. Read through the options and just check off what pages you are interested in including. Each page has information needed to create it, so if you have checked off a page, please do your best to fill out the information. If you're unsure, you can write in unsure and we'll always collaborate with you to figure that out. And not everything will be applicable to you, so skip whatever doesn't make sense for your business. For instance, if you don't have a physical location or you don't have regular hours of operation, these will be things that you would skip. So we're going to move on to page 10 because here it's a little different. We provide space for your own page ideas should you have needs past the basic page ideas we listed previously. If so, we'll need the name of the page that you want created and a little description of what you're hoping that page will do, what its purpose is. If you don't have any special page requests, this is something you can completely skip. Now let's move on to social media. To start with social media, we will need login information. We do not share or save this information anywhere and we keep it protected, but we will need to know this in order to do any work with your current accounts. The first section of this social media chapter is for clients who already have social media accounts and want them updated, assessed, and or redesigned. So please provide the usernames and passwords for each account that you want us to work with. The next section is for the creation of new social media platforms. Whether you aren't a part of a platform and you want to be, or you have no accounts at all and you want us to create them for you, please let us know what platform you would like, such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever platform it is. Let us know what username or email you would like used, along with a potential password you would like connected to that account. Again, this is protected information. We don't share it anywhere. We just need to know so that we can make it happen for you. If you said yes to a curated library for your first application, you will need to fill out the curated post library section. For this, we'll be creating 12 posts in total for you to keep, post, and reuse whenever you like. You can check off 12 different ideas or fewer than 12 if you would like multiple designs of one option. If you would like multiple designs of one option, please let us know in the comment box below the checked boxes which one you would like multiples of and how many. For example, if I checked off Employee Spotlight and I want several, in the comment box I will fill it out saying Employee Spotlight times 5 posts. So general business information. Here, we need to know your general business information so that we can make sure that it is accurate across all your platforms and on Google, so that your customers can always get in contact with you and always have the correct information regarding your business. If it does not apply to you, you can skip it. But one thing to note is if we are not doing a rebrand or brand for you, one item we will desperately need is your current logo. So we ask you to email any of this additional information and files you would like us to have, such as your logo, but also any photos you want used, any videos, or any special events, promotions, sales, or partnerships your business offers on social media throughout the year. So for the content calendar or post planning option, if you checked this off, we just need to know how often your business feels capable posting. We use this information to create a suggested posting calendar for your company to use and maintain consistency in future postings. So all you need to do is just check off what frequency of posting you are comfortable maintaining. And finally, the Curbside program section. This section is just one giant brainstorm. Here we just want to hear what your dreams are for contactless pickup or delivery business. If you don't have any ideas, again, you can always write down that you have no clue, and we're happy to brainstorm that with you. You may already have something in the works, such as the start of a system or ads created. You may even have a delivery window or an idea for contactless pickup. Just use this section to describe your needs and your dreams for helping us help you achieve this. We will get in touch with you to form a plan after we receive the application, so only write what you are able to. And if you're unsure, as always, you can write that down. And that's the end of the form. You did it. Now all that's left is to send in this application. If you are working on gathering files, product information, photos, or whatever else we may have asked for, and you don't have that ready, you can do that after this application is submitted. The most important file to get to our team to get us started is this application. So please, if you are able to fill it out as best you can and are still missing some pieces, send it in anyways and just let us know what pieces you are missing. We're happy to work with you and make it happen, but the sooner you get this application in, the sooner we can start your project.